This video is brought to you by Anchor. Hey guys, Jay here. So I know this is a sponsored video, but when the sponsor of this video approached me with this product, I was reluctant to say no because it is a specific product that solves a specific pain point that I have been really hating on projectors specifically for years. This is the soundcore Nebula P1 projector, and it's the world's first portable projector with detachable speakers. And that's the key right there, detachable speakers. And I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, well, don't most projectors have speakers built in? And yes, that is exactly the pet peeve of mine that I just cannot get over. Because when it comes to projectors, especially the portable ones that we're talking about, we're not talking about JVC or Epson or the ones that you usually have to have dedicated home theater systems for, but for someone that's getting into a projector, like a bedroom system like mine, and I just want a simple system that's portable as well so I can take it with me on a camping trip or on an outing or in my backyard, for example, then it becomes vital that it has some type of sound source. And the immediate thing for these projector companies to do is have the speakers built in to the physical projector itself. And that is literally the 99.99% of the projectors out there. And why this is specifically a big pet peeve of mine is that, well, if you ever had a projector, usually it's going to be behind you. Like for me, 99% of the time it's behind me. Unless it's a short throw, it's very rare you're gonna have the projector in front of you, which means that the sound is going to come from behind you when you're watching movies, which just, in my head, it just, as someone who cares about sound, is just nonsensical. It just destroys the entire immersiveness of the whole experience. And having the projector in front of you, I guess that is an ideal situation, but that limits you in where you can put the projector in the first place. And to be honest, the compromise is never worth it because the sound from the projector isn't all that great to begin with because it's built in, it's a single source. So having detachable speakers, not one, but speakers, two of them for left and right channel already is a huge game changer in itself because you now actually get imaging and a sense of immersiveness that you just could not get from built-in speakers in projectors. And these speakers are pretty decent. They are 10-watt Dolby Audio supported. And while obviously these small speakers is not going to replace your dedicated high-end home theater, that's nonsensical. I shouldn't even have to say that. But it sounds actually pretty darn good. Like I reviewed some soundcore Bluetooth speakers on my channel a while back, and it sounds, I would say, almost nearly as good as those speakers. And yes, these can also be doubled as separate Bluetooth speakers when you pair it up with your phone. So you can have it for your desktop, you can use, it has multi-use case scenarios. They can be Bluetooth speakers on their own or be paired with the projector for that sound experience. So it's not like it's just for the projectors. And the sound quality is actually pretty decent. First of all, it has way more bass capability than the inbuilt projector speakers because if you have too much bass in those projectors, what ends up happening is you have to compensate for that because of the vibration. Low frequencies, they vibrate and they can smear the imagery and stuff like that through the resonance of the cabinet itself, which shares with a lens, which again, I just think is just really stupid. So I think we get the point. Most inbuilt speakers inside projectors are really bad because they have to be limited in bass, which means they're going to be usually thin and not very immersive, and they have to be placed in such a fashion that they have to be right in front of you, or it sounds like it's going to come from the source itself behind you. You can pinpoint it exactly where it's coming from, which isn't very immersive at all. With these speakers, the bass is actually pretty full. Now, is it going down all the way to the sub bass like your subwoofers, those 12-inch subwoofers? Obviously not. Again, I shouldn't have to say this, but considering the form factor, it actually has respectable bass, which I was quite surprised and pleasantly surprised by. Now, when it comes to the mid-range is a little bit more elevated than the other frequencies. So, for watching movies or narration, which is going to be 99% of the time how I'm going to use the projector, then it's actually favorable because you can hear the distinctive, articulation of the narrative and the script much easier in those movies and shows I'm watching. But I'll also say it also sounds pretty decent with music because it sounds fuller. It sounds much better than the built-in projector speakers once again. And of course, it's not going to beat your high-end audio system speakers. I shouldn't again have to even say that. But it sounds as good as a really nice Bluetooth speaker like from Soundcore. And you get 2 of them with this. And in terms of functionality, you guys know I really like a well thought out product. Now, if this was a projector with 2 speakers kind of bundled in together, I wouldn't be as impressive. Still, it will solve the pain point of having inbuilt speakers inside projectors that I absolutely hate, but I will be less impressed. But this function right here, where it detaches and reattaches through a magnet and charges wirelessly while being attached to the projector, is an absolute well thought out design. It screams to me that the person that designed this understood the pain point exactly. And talking about a thoughtful design, once these speakers are charging wirelessly by attaching to the projectors magnetically once again, it takes only 3 hours for it to be playable for 20 hours. That is plenty of binge watching time that you can do wirelessly. Now, I really hate to keep ragging on the built-in speakers inside projectors, but that's just how much I hate them. And one of the things that I really hate about them is the latency. I mean, it's already behind you. So, I guess it's already pretty bad. But when it comes to the mismatch in latency, like the narrative is already moving its lips, it's out of sync. And that just throws me off. It screams low-end experience, and it defeats the whole purpose of buying a great projector because the image is great, everything else isn't, right? The syncing is off, the sound source is coming from somewhere else. Like, this is the worst it can get. And unfortunately, this is most projectors with built-in speakers. And I really have to ask those projector companies, why is there latency issues when the speaker is built into the unit? That is so odd to me. Because this speaker right here has detachable speakers and it has no latency or syncing issues whatsoever. And we'll come back to the build quality in a minute, but this is a very light portable projector at only 2.3 kilograms. And it is 1080p. Now, I'm going to talk about the image quality in a minute here, but for those of you that's screaming, what is 1080p? It's 2025, I need 4K. Well, they do make a 4K version, but it is going to be more expensive. But I have to personally say the image quality on this 1080p projector is not bad whatsoever. There's different tiers of 1080p projectors. Not all 1080p projectors are made equal. I found out the hard way. But yeah, essentially, some 1080p projectors will have better colors, better sharpness, better contrast, and so on, which can add to the fidelity of what you're watching. And the image quality on this projector, I will say, is on the top tier when it comes to 1080p projectors. And this is coming from someone who uses 4K monitors, TVs, like exclusively I use 4K in my studio. So I could tell it is a 1080p, but it is honestly not that bad to where I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. It actually is pretty nice. The image quality is not bad at all. And honestly, I just keep this one on and have like city views or beach views to give a nice vibrant vibe to my room. And then when I'm ready to watch something, it's actually not bad at all. Again, very satisfying with the vibrant colors and the contrast level. And I will say, I think they did a really nice job with what they are calling the Nebula Master Engine. This is their imaging processing engine that makes the colors more vibrant and consistent. And I think it just does a really good job of just the image quality. I really like how the colors pop, especially the red on this projector. So the image quality is very excellent. But another thing that is important when it comes to projectors is how bright it gets. So you want ideally a bright projector. And while this projector is better than its competitors, especially the 1080p projectors out there, but it's not going to win any awards with its 650 ANSI lumen output, especially compared to its bigger brother that outputs 3500 ANSI lumen. But I don't want you to be put off by it. 650 ANSI lumen is very good and respectable compared to its competitors for a 1080p projector, and not to mention, most of the time, unless you're gonna try to see stuff in broad daylight with all the lights turned on and all the windows open, in a dimly lit room, or in a dark environment like your backyard, or in your bedroom at night, which is, again, 99% of the reason you get a projector to watch things in darker environments, that's when 650 ANSI lumen, I can confidently say, is more than enough brightness. And images are vivid, vibrant, and colorful. And as you can see on the camera, it is very much incredibly bright enough. Also, I've seen other stuff like this on other projectors as well, but this projector has the MEMC, which smooths out the motion when it comes to sports and stuff like that. That makes it a little bit more, I guess, easier to watch when it comes to those movements because it doesn't blur those movements like at 24p. So basically, it just adds extra footages using smart, integration to make sure the image is more smooth. And this projector, again, does very good job of doing that. So if you're a sports fan and you watch something like that, then try to turn on that function and see how it goes for you. But yeah, let's talk about the build quality because this is built to be also used potentially for those that want to take this bad boy outside for a movie night in the backyard or camping or whatever. It has a nice travel handle, which is a nice touch, but it's also built to be dust resistant, splash resistant, and minor drop survivable. Like they say minor drops, but I feel like this can survive a few drops, to be honest. Not that you should try. Don't try. Most importantly, the optical housing especially is made out of all metal, which according to Soundcore helped them improve heat dissipation performance by over 100% because metal helps to dissipate heat faster because it works as a heatsink. Now, as with anything design related, it usually has a domino effect, and it is the same case here because it allows the heat to dissipate faster and more efficient. The operational sound is really quiet on this projector. I mean, check it for yourself. And I do personally really appreciate this because the operational noise on, again, most projectors are atrocious. Like they might as well be a refrigerator inside your room, and in a smaller enclosed bedroom space, you can hear that all day long. But I think this noise is very much respectable and very usable. It is probably the quietest projector at this price point in this form factor. And this, my friends, is probably my favorite thing about this projector, aside from the speakers. The dual arm 130-degree built-in gimbal allows you to point the projector smoothly with no janky movements, and married with their intelligent autofocus and keystone, it really opens up many more possibilities for placing one of these in your room. And remember, we already talked about how the detachable speakers allow for more flexibility in where you place that projector in your room. This arm just doubles up on that to make it one of the most flexible projectors that you can set up. It's just the easiest possible. Because again, now you can put your projector behind you and have your sound source in front of you, so you don't have to worry about having the projector in front of you, like as if it's a short throw, even though it's not, unlike most projectors. But aside from that, the swivel arm thingy allows you to point literally anywhere, up in the ceiling, on your wall, quite literally anywhere, which means that you don't necessarily need a projector stand or a tripod of some sort. And you know what? Even if you place it on a tripod, I've had so many instances where I was just crunching my head because you put the tripod on a projector, it's pointing straight. So if you want it a little bit up, I mean, you need to have some kind of head to do that. So it's just a nightmare. And if you've been there, then you know how I feel. It is just, the setup process just makes you just, But this projector, again, has it built in. So you can literally, and I'm doing this because it just is extreme case of scenario. You will never do this. You would probably put it on top of something. But here I have it on a floor. And all I have to do is tilt it up using the dual arm gimbal, and voila, I have a picture. And again, with the keystone and the auto kind of correction, and of course you can go in there and do the manual adjustments if you're OCD like myself. You can set up this projector within minutes, but that's not what's important because most projectors say that anyways, it can be set up within minutes, even though that's not true. This projector can be set up really within minutes. Not just that, but it's just more flexible in where you can put the projector, and you don't have to baby it in terms of where it goes in your room. Like I literally put it on top of my air purifier and it works. I put it on my desk and it works. Like I can change up the position of this projector anywhere in my room without having to worry, is it going to project onto that screen, onto my wall properly in this position? And 99.9% of the time, it will not. And in fact, because my bedroom is quite small, I've had many projectors in here that I tried to set up exactly how I wanted this projector to be set up, projecting onto the long wall. But because on the shorter side, I don't have enough distance, it was so hard to get that perfect screen. And as you can see here, this projector can do it perfectly, and not only perfectly, but with ease. Like I don't have to bang my head against the wall trying to make this projector work in my room. So again, for a bedroom setup, simple setup, camping setup, on the go, again, this is a portable projector and it does its job as promised as a portable projector. So that's all I'm asking for, and this projector hits all the right spots to satisfy those needs. Aside from that, of course, this projector has all the traditional goodies from a smart projector, like widely used apps like Netflix, YouTube, etc. And in the back, it has additional inputs like HDMI, USB-A, aux to add power speakers, laptop, game consoles, etc. And my friends, lastly, I'll say this. If you want to get this projector and you're thinking of taking it to your backyard or a camping trip outdoors where you're not, you don't have an access to an actual plug, then I recommend getting this bundle right here. I found it randomly online. I promise Anchor didn't pay me extra to give this extra promotion or anything like that. I just personally found it vital because you do need a plug, and for this to be truly portable, I just didn't want my viewers to buy this and then go to a camping trip and go, now what do I do? Where do I plug this in? I can't enjoy a projector. So I didn't want you to run into that. So make sure you have an alternate power source that you can plug this into, like a portable, power station, so that you don't run into that issue. So that's pretty much it from me. I hope this video was helpful and enjoyable. And if you are a projector company that is perhaps watching this video, please do consider having detachable speakers. I wish to see way more projectors with detachable speakers. I think that in itself is a really valuable thing because sound at least is minimum 50% of the immersive value when it comes to watching a movie or watching anything. I think having built-in speakers is just the wrong way to go. So if you agree, then click the like button, comment below what you think about what I said and absolutely hating built-in, speakers and projectors. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, click the like on this video, and until next time.